Hello everyone, this is Ben with Math Moments here today, and we have a problem in algebra and some geometry that says find the length of a square with a diagonal of 12 inches, and we are also asked to find the area. So we have a picture here of a square, and we can see the diagonal length is 12 inches. And what we know about a square is that all of the sides are the same length. So we can call all of those sides length x. And as you can see here, we have what's called a right triangle that's formed from these two sides, the height and the width of the square, and the hypotenuse is the diagonal. And this forms a right angle. So one formula that we know with right triangles is the Pythagorean theorem. So we know that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we can treat this side x here as a, and then our b is x here, that side, and then the diagonal length, this is the hypotenuse, which is c. So if we substitute those values into this equation here for Pythagorean theorem, we're going to get x squared plus x squared equals c squared. C is 12 in this case, so we have 12 squared. So that'll lead us to x squared plus x squared is 2x squared equals 12 squared is 12 times 12. That's 144. And then if we divide by 2 to both sides, those 2's cancel, and then we're left with x squared equals 2 into 144, or half of 144 would be 72. Now to get the x by itself, we need to get rid of the x squared, so that means we got to square root both sides. So the square root of x squared will just give us x, and that equals square root of 72. Now to simplify the radical 72, we need to find a number that is a perfect square, or there's a factor of 72. So we know 72 is 2 times 36. So we have square root of 2 times 36. And that's going to equal square root of 2 times square root of 36. So square root of 36, well, what number times itself gives us 36? That would be 6, right? 6 times 6 is 36. So that'll be 6 there. And we'll have 6 times the square root of 2. So this answers the first part of our problem. We just found out what the length of our square is. The length of our square is 6 times the square root of 2. And we also need to include our units, right? Which is inches. Or if you want to abbreviate, you can do IN, period, for inches. So that takes care of the first part of the problem. Now we need to find what the area is of this square. So we know that in this case, we have the width here is 6 times the square root of 2 inches. We also know that the height is also 6 times the square root of 2 inches, since all the sides of a square are equal. So basically the area, or just call that A, that's just going to equal x times x, length times the width, or the height times the width in this case. That's going to be x squared. And so we're just basically going to take the value 6 times the square root of 2. I'm going to square that. And then just multiply each number and square it separately. So we're going to do 6 times 6, or 6 squared, times square root of 2, all of that squared. So 6 squared is 36. Multiply by square root of 2 squared, that's just square root of 2 times square root of 2, it's 2. And 36 times 2, we knew this earlier, is 72. And we don't want to forget our units, so that'll be inches squared, since we're dealing with square units with area. And that, my friends, is the final answer to this problem. We found the length of the square using the Pythagorean theorem. Given the diagonal of the square, we found that was 12 inches. And we applied the formula here to figure out what that side, or what that length of the square is. We found that to be 6 times the square root of 2 inches. And then we just multiplied that side by itself to give us the total area of the square, which is 72 inches square. So I hope this video was helpful. Help you solve this problem here in geometry or algebra. So again, my name is Ben. You have a great day, and take care.